What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to day number 2 here, the PUBG Mobile Club Open EU Wildcard Division. I'm Hot Jukes here with Mustache Dave. And first off, gotta give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Xiaomi, innovation for everyone. So, Dave, day number 1, it's in the books. Day number 2, we got all new teams coming back in here today. 16 new squads, Group C versus Group D. What are your thoughts, Dave, so far?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, one day of PMCO group stage jotted down in the books, in the records, carved in stone. So today, Group C versus Group D. I'm thinking this lobby has kind of a better advantage compared to our teams yesterday, just because, Jukes, just because they have a goal that they can kind of chase down. They have an idea on what type of points they need to acquire here today to be up there at the top when compared to yesterday. It's like everybody's just trying to do the very best they can, but at least now we have an indicator on some of the best teams in the lobby. I mean, we saw yesterday 4 Romanian men killing it, man, killing it. So I'm looking forward to today's teams to see, what they can do here today, what they can accomplish.
Likewise, I mean, it totally makes sense. I mean, the first squads, they went in blind, kind of, like they had to just kind of figure out what points we're going to put on the board. Now these teams coming in, they're going to have at least somewhat of a clue, like you mentioned. But I think that role's going to flip towards the end, because even though they went first, most likely going to finish last. So I think it'll kind of even out for them, but we'll have to see how they're going to be able to, really get things done here soon. So ladies and gentlemen, first off, just want to give a big thank you guys for showing up. Again, this is myself and Dave's really first time casting PMCO Wildcard. For those of you guys that don't know who we are, we have casted PMCO North American for quite a while. But now coming into EU, I'm really excited to see how some of these new squads perform today. So having said that, let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule that we have here for today. And as you guys can see, we can see match number 1, it's going to be in Erangel. 2, we're going to Sanhok, Miramar, and then back in Erangel. Same format that we had yesterday. But as you can see in the bottom, we have Group C going against Group D. So 4 groups. And the really big important thing is that these teams, they don't have a lot of games really to prove themselves here. 12 games in total. These are brand new squads kind of competing for the first time against each other. So they're going to have to really, really just show up and get it done in a short period of time. And that's what it takes. That's really what it takes. Even when I myself competed for the first time 2 years ago, we had 4 days of games, like 4 days of games to be able to get it done. And once that was over, like we either made it or we didn't. Luckily, I was able to make it. And then now I'm here casting the club open. So the same results can happen for any of these members, but you got to be able to get it done in this short time, Dave.
That is true. I mean, with 4 games here today, Group C versus Group D. Now, one thing I got to point out, Group C, they're going to be able to play here today and tomorrow, Juke. So we were kind of talking about it towards the end of yesterday, that momentum, that factor that comes into play here when it comes to just building up that confidence in yourself. I mean, how's that going to impact Group C, at least, in your opinion? Like you mentioned, you used to play competitive in the past. Like, how does that affect you?
Man, honestly, if I really think about it, I think it can go either way. Because the good thing is that when you kind of have that back-to-back days, you're already kind of warmed up, you're prepared, you're not having to kind of just wait and sit back. The big thing, though, is if you have 2 bad back-to-back days, that is like soul-crushing for a squad, especially when it's your first time competing at this level. So I hope that if they do have a bad day today, tomorrow, they're going to be able to kind of just go in, look at the VOD, figure out what they went wrong, and be able to fix it really quickly, because that's what's going to have to happen. Because when you have it in this kind of short period of time, 2 bad days, it's rough on your team's like overall morale.
So some teams here today that we're looking to pretty much pop off that at least some members of the community reached out and told me about: Hate Gaming and Re-Expect Esports. So those are 2 teams, Hot Jukes, that we're going to need to keep our eye on here today. And, not only them, but everybody else in the lobby. You said it. You nailed it on the head. Like, all these teams coming in clean, 16 brand new teams when it comes to the PMCO group stage. Clean slate. So today's a big day for them to, try to acquire as many points as possible.
They're going to have to do it. But let's go ahead and take a look at the points that they're going to need to get as we move on over to the rankings. And everybody, this is after day number 1. Now, remember, a lot of you guys that are watching right now kind of rooting on for these teams that are in Group C and D. They didn't play yesterday, so they have 0 points on the board, and that's why. But these are the teams that actually did get to play. And you can see 4 Romanian men. Man, these guys straight crushed it yesterday. 59 points in total. Masters Esports, Panda, Team. A lot of teams had some really solid games. Unfortunately, Dave's favorite squad, the Teletubbies, had a little rough day in day number 1. But hopefully they're all 4 of those Teletubbies are watching right now and getting ready for their next day playing Roundup.
Hey, they're going to come back tomorrow, all right? I guarantee it. They, yesterday they didn't have, the Teletubbies, they had a little baby son in the sky. So they didn't have that little baby laughing down on them. Tomorrow they will, for a fact. They told me that, Hot Jukes. And yesterday, speaking about the Teletubbies in particular, and this could be said for a couple of the squads, right? And I'll get your take on this one. The first 3 games, it felt like teams were kind of, warming up, kind of shaking off those jitters. But then game 4, you even mentioned it, like a completely different game. The vibe was different. The teams, they were making pull-ups left and right. And I'm bringing this up because game 4 is kind of when the Teletubbies, we start to see some aggression from them. We start to see them take some shots onto their opponents when compared to the first 3 games, they were playing the rat game all day long. So is that something that we could maybe expect here today for these 16 teams?
I think we could see a lot of the same. I hope that some of these 16 teams watched yesterday, kind of heard us talking and mentioned it, because if in my opinion, if I was going in here right now, I would come out just straight fragging immediately, because you're going to deal with those teams and players that are going to have those initial competing at this high level nerves. And it's kind of crazy because, I talk about nerves a lot. And the reason why is, because I played comp before, but besides, if people are like, oh, you haven't played comp in a while, dude, I went to PMGC in Dubai. I talked to some of these teams. I got Zute here, some players that still played and have been playing this entire time. And all they talk about is nerves, because that's one of the biggest things. It's just being able to play like the way you play in a classic match, like the way you played in practice. If you could do that, you're most likely going to have a lot of success. But if you go in here and just start feeling that pressure and you just start snaking and making those bad decisions, you're going to get punished for it so fast.
And we saw that pressure kind of get the better part of some of these squads that we are talking about from yesterday. And in particular, we also kind of touched on this, their movement, their timing when it comes to rotating on into the actual zones. Because with the competitive settings, there's slight adjustments, right? There's slight adjustments. And if you're a team that this is your first time ever playing on these settings, you're going to need to adapt right away.
Oh, yeah. I mean, tournament settings are completely different than playing in a classic match. So it's kind of difficult to really practice at this high level. You have to just kind of really look, watch, make those adjustments on the fly. And you have to kind of, as a squad, just get together and be like, hey, guys, we need to be able to adapt. We need to be able to make these changes to be able to get it done. And one thing in particular is when you look at when it comes to team dynamics, pressure, we've seen it happen even at the highest level. I watched Bigatron Esports, right? One of the most famous teams in PUBG Mobile. If you watched any of their videos, you see one of their members die and you'll see them scream at each other in the middle of a game. So that just goes to show you the pressure, and they tweet about it. They tweet about the pressure and everything like that. It happens from the top down. So for these teams, I think it's going to be at a whole nother level for them. So if you guys are watching right now and you see some of the squads kind of struggle in the first few games, definitely, show them some support, hype them up, get them in the mood, to really start playing like themselves.
So I do believe game number 1, we're having a slight little remake there. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hot Jukes Dave podcast hour right now.
Let's go.
And, hey, we could talk about things for days. And you brought it up, the nerves. There's a time and place though, Hot Jukes. I'm not going to lie. And we're getting a little, sidetracked right now, but, it's all related to competitive PUBG
Let's
Mobile.
talk about it. Absolutely.
You're talking about Bigatron, and this is probably for a lot of teams. They get a little upset with each other but there's definitely a time and place, right? Like personally, I don't feel like the time and place is in between games. I think it's after the day is done to really dive deep in, maybe pinpointing what you guys did wrong, what you did right. I mean, what's your take on that?
So like I would say yes. And then the thing is that I have tried with certain teams and players to say that exact same thing, but I can't lie. You can go in with the plan. You could go in with like, oh, this is how you should handle these situations. But once you're there and once you feel the utter, oh, like I cannot believe I died right there. It is so difficult for you to bottle that up. And I think that a lot of people don't recognize that. They'll be like, oh, why are you yelling? Why are you doing that to your team? It's just your utter inner competitor. Some people just cannot really bottle it up. Some people can better than others, but I think that's why it's so important is to just talk together as a squad and understand some of your teammates. Maybe you have a teammate who's an insane fragger who's just always angry. Maybe you either something has to change. Either
we know a couple of us.
Either he has to calm down, or the rest of the squad needs to just kind of understand that this is how he is, and he performs the best when he's angry. It's kind of a weird dynamic. It's weird to talk about, but I mean, if you look at like professional US basketball, like you see some of these top coaches talk about having to manage players' egos and how huge it is. And it's the same thing, I think, here in competitive PUBG Mobile, which is a mobile game, but it is something that you have to deal with. And there's big money on the line.
It still gets heated, right? At the end of the day, there's a lot of money on the line. There's going to be a total of $14 million USD for 2021. There's more PMPLs. There's a lot more opportunities for players to kind of come in from the bottom, right? And this is what PMCO is. It allows teams to kind of form. They might be playing in those pubs and be like, listen, fellas, like we're pretty good. Maybe we should try our hand at going pro. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. A couple of these teams, this is their first time ever playing in competitive. And we saw last season, we saw some teams from PMCO, they went all the way to the top, Hot Jukes.
Yep. And it's so crazy because, I mean, like, just to kind of like, I can only talk about my experience, right? And just to like give that an example is like 2 years ago, I was a farmer in Texas, like literally had no association with gaming, got into PUBG Mobile, qualified, just like a lot of these teams are trying to qualify today at the bottom, And since then, since I did qualify, if I didn't, I wouldn't be here now, right? But since my team was able to do that, I've been to Dubai twice. They flew me all around the country, and now I get to play mobile games for a living. And a lot of these players want that same thing. They want to be able to get there, but they have to cross this bridge first. They have to show up and they have to get it done in these 12 games. 12 deciding games can really change your life, and they're going to have to do it. They just have to make it happen.
It's not a lot, man. It is not a lot, especially when we look at PMCO as a whole when it comes to EU West. There's a total of 32 teams. They're broken down into 4 different groups. We had day 1 yesterday, A versus B. Today is going to be C versus D. And like you said, everybody just, doing the very best they can in the 12 matches they have to qualify. And at the end of every group's 12 matches, they need to be in that top 16. That's the goal here. You could be
16.
First, you could be first, second, you could be 16th place. It doesn't matter. Top 16. That's the goal for the group stages. And then there's going to be, I believe, 2 days off. They can kind of review the footage, study their enemies. And then there's going to be 4 days of PMCO Finals, which I believe has 16 games. So, a couple games here and there. You can't really afford to get taken out first because, like you like to put it, that's a goose egg.
It's goose egg, man. You can't afford to get the goose egg. Can't 0-point games with this few games in total. It's going to be tough. So at the end of the day, though, just the fact that they made it here to the Club Open is a huge honor. I mean, a lot of people just work so hard to even get to this stage. So mad props to all the teams that have done it. And we're going to see which teams are going to be able to do it here in day number 2 coming up here shortly. And we'll get back to you right after this short break. Welcome back, everybody, to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split EU edition. Of course, sponsored by Xiaomi, innovation for everyone. So, guys, we're about to get started here today. Again, we got Group C going against Group D for the first time. First time these teams have played against each other. Dave, the squads that we got going in together. I've been looking at the chat, been seeing some people kind of hyping up their teams. I see Karimo here going for hate. I see some other guys going for mixed squad. I see a lot of mixed squad, no limits as well. So I'm really pumped up to see which team's going to really show up today.
Yeah, honestly, if we were to have like a little poll going on right now, mixed squad, they have a lot. Yeah, they are at the top when it comes to the hype train. They got a lot of hearts over there in the chat. So looking forward to it, man. Mixed squad, high expectations, at least when it comes to the people watching today's matches. So the game is underway, ladies and gentlemen. Sailing nice and smooth, waiting for that delay to catch up, by the way, because, you know, it's a competitive game, so we got to have that fairness factored in. Big squad. Oh, by the way, sidetracked real quick, because yesterday we were talking about pandas, and you asked, what do you call a pack of pandas? It's called, I looked it up, it's called the bamboo of pandas. A bamboo of
pandas? So it's a pod of whales, a group, a school of fish, and a bamboo of pandas. Don't they eat bamboo? So they eat
bamboo, yeah. So
okay, all right.
Hey, well, knowledge, hey, not, man. Dude?
Knowledge. See, I'm not proud of all these trophies over here. What I'm proud of is knowledge, baby. Let's go. You know, that's what I'm talking about. So, all right, we got some interesting teams. Let's go ahead and go down the list. So today we got Hate Gaming EU playing, Gamers Unite Nations, and if you hear a team, go ahead and start spamming them in the chat. Okay, we got Gaijin Ronin, Uncalled 4, 7 Esports, Razavlia, Mixed Squad, No Limits, Martin Gaming, Laco Nostra Ice, Laco Nostra Power. Ooh, two different ones there. 4 UN Clan, 4 Warrior Men. Dave, what is with the 4 men, dude? We had 4 Angry Men. You know, the other day we had another different squad. Now we got 4 Warrior Men. And then, of course, you know, Teacher Team, Respect Esports, and Team Masters. Man, crazy.
I think whenever teams just have that 4 men kind of worked in there somehow, some way. I mean, yesterday 4 Romanian men, they're the best right now in the lobby. Yes, some other teams haven't played yet, but you really can't argue. I mean, they have 1 chicken dinner. I think when we saw the scoreboard, about 30 actual kill points from yesterday, and everybody knows, you know, 4 angry men. So I don't know. I think there's
the top tier.
There's some type of 200 IQ meta that we're slowly starting to tap into. So maybe I need to change my name to, you know, 4 Mustache Dave Man. I don't know. Something along those lines.
All I know is that there was a squad named 4 Mustached Men. That would be by far an S tier team, without a doubt. So anybody watching right now that's looking to make up a name, dude, that's the one. Because 4 Angry Men right now, they are at top. And then, you know, we have 4 Romanian Men. We'll have to see, though, is there going to be a battle between 4 Romanian men and 4 Warrior Men coming up. I'm going to keep a close eye on that one. That's for sure. But we'll have to see what other teams really do it. And again, you know, looking at the chat, I just see a ton of love for Mixed Squad. So Mixed Squad is going to be a team that I'm going to be looking on, you know, and we'll see if they're going to be able to make the fans proud. I sure hope they do. We'll see.
Yeah, so let's see. Who'd you say? Mixed Squad. I'm trying to see real quick which group they are in. Mixed Squad. Group C. So they're gonna be playing tomorrow as well. So they're gonna have 4 games today, 4 games tomorrow, 8 in total back to back. So hey, Mixed Squad, best of luck today, ladies and gentlemen. I think I see some people on the tarmac filling up the gas in the plane. I think I see those dudes with the lights waving those wands around. I think the players, they're loaded up in Hot Jukes.
They're in. They're locked. They're loaded, baby. Here we go. Let's get going here for match number 1 of day 2 here at the PMCO Spring Lit here in the West Europe division. And you can see, like you mentioned, Dave, why don't you go ahead and bust up the captain talk, bro? Let's get the captain on here.
Oh, cap, no cap. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on into match number 1 of the EUS group stage. And sit back, relax. We have the complimentary TVs in the headrest. Make sure you tune into your favorite team, cheer them on, spam it in the chat. But it looks like our first plane of the evening will be starting over Prison, ending over Zarky.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Captain. Love to see that right there. What a beautiful view. What a beautiful view of this play path, as you can see. And it's going to be going up into the north side here. So a lot of squads that like to drop Novo military going to have to make a little bit of a drive on down. But again, none of these teams are going to really have a ton of intel against each other. So it's always scary here at the start to really see where these squads decide to drop on, because the possibility of teams just dropping on each other, it's really, really high right now.
Scary Terry, he's going to get you regardless of if you're running or not. Looks like two teams trying to maybe stretch it out to go down there to Nova. I don't know if they're going to fight for Nova or Milta. They have to be aware of each other. They can definitely see each other in their drops. Yes, Naya. Wow, Jukes, two teams are going to be in Yes, Naya. This is kind of a change of pace from yesterday. Yesterday, the first 3 games, all the teams avoided each other for the most part in the early game. But when it comes to groups C and D, we might have some early action.
Well, let's see if they're going to be able to do it. Hate Gaming, it looks like they're going to have, I believe, either North George, South George, that entire area all to themselves. So they can loot up like crazy. So we'll see what they're going to be able to get a hold of. But moving on over, like you mentioned, Yaznaya got 2 squads. It looks like they did land on opposite sides of the street. So they should be able to pretty much loot their actual side to themselves and hopefully move on away from each other. Yeah, you don't want to get caught out right now early.
Especially when this is your first game of the group stage. 0 points, right? Like all these teams, nothing on the board. If they get taken out in 16th position, that's going to give them another 0 points. So definitely not the start that anybody wants to have. We see the kill feed. See some pumps,
Shotgun.
some pump and dumps. Yeah, some shotguns, people getting blasted to the face. That is going to be our first blood of groups C versus D. Running on over here. See one of the members from Gajin Ronin out there in the open. Dynamic. I don't know who has a gun and who doesn't have a gun. I don't think anybody has a gun. Okay, so everybody just rushing to the compound to grab that weapon first.
And that's Mixed Squad. That's Mixed Squad right there. They already lost a member early, and it looks like Sangwei is going to be able to get a DP. That's a heck of a gun to start things off. But does find an Uzi as well. Did he end up spotting Dynamic? I think he did. Oh, here comes those shots. Gets a couple taps and gets the last one. So that's 2 members down from Mixed Squad already. So not the start that they wanted. It looks like they just, I'm not sure where exactly they were going for when it comes to these drops, but man, both of these teams seem pretty out of position.
Mixed Squad going for that mixed drop, I guess you could say, all kind of splitting off their own direction. It might be due to the plane path. Maybe the plane didn't favor their drop spots that they have, practiced coming into here. And that goes back to our initial conversation in the pre-show. It's all about adapting, handling, what you're dealt type of deal. You're obviously not going to come to these games and get exactly what you want when it comes to, the RNG and looting buildings right off the bat. You're not going to get your initial drop spots. You have to be able to adapt and just overcome the challenges. And at the end of the day, the team that does that the best, or the teams that do that the best, they're going to make it, top 16. That's it. So, I don't know, Mixed Squad. They have a couple more games to go here today, but already with 2 down, it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, it's a weird drop, I think, regardless. Because, that's a really odd spot for them to kind of just be caught out running in the open. Maybe they were kind of flying to try and get go for like a vehicle spawn strat to try and drive a little bit further down south. And maybe they both flew in that direction and didn't find one. Not too sure exactly what happened there. But whatever did happen, I know that they're going to be able to look back at it and make those adjustments in the future. But moving on over, we are in Pachinki now as we're watching these teams loot up. Happy to see that we're not seeing a lot of action early on, because I think a lot of these teams would rather avoid that. Just trying to play it real safe to start things out and then hopefully catch each other in the end. And so far, it looks pretty good, I think, overall for all these teams.
Catch me outside, man. That's what's happening right here. Teacher
How about
team.
that?
Yeah, one of their squad mates here just prone TPP, gathering information. Actually looks like both of their squad mates over here are doing the same thing, just trying to avoid getting spotted out, trying to avoid getting that one tap dirt nap in. For good reason, as there's only 2 of them right now this game. So they do not want to be spotted at all costs by No Limits. And I'm curious. No Limits, Hot Jukes, do you think No Limits are aware that there might be some, enemies lurking nearby?
I mean, they have to. They had to have seen the parachutes. They have to have some clue that there's another team here. I mean, even by their movement, like how carefully they're navigating through Pachinki, they have to have some kind of idea. The only issue is, what is their game plan right now? Like, it looks like they're just looting up as fast as possible, and we're seeing a nice far rotate. Yeah, and it looks like they do have one member that's out of position on the other side of Pachinki, and it looks like he's going to try to go over to that side of the street and get picked up. They got to be really careful, though, because if they drive up in the wrong spot, it could just spell disaster for them. No way they go down the middle of the street. No way. The greats! The greats on this team, No Limit. Are you kidding me? You see him drive by. Is he going to shoot? Murado. Yeah. Oh, there's a peek out. 3x AK, not able to get it done. And the rest of that's the one thing, is that teacher team is very, very spread out inside of Pachinki right now. And it's tough for them to really kind of, get those movements going really quickly when you're that, spread. So we'll see what happens. It looks like it is a big break for No Limit, as they are able to get out of there free. And it looks like they're going to head on over to the next location.
Only 2 of them, too. Don't forget, there's only 2 members up for the teacher team. If there was a time to at least get that second spray in, hey, No Limits, all of them piled into that one clown car, that would have been the moment. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, we're watching some mates down there rotate, kind of flipping around over here in the US. So I'm curious, are we going to see a lot of early game action when it comes to teams maybe exploding in their vehicles and their rotates?
We'll see, because I want to see exactly where this next circle is going to go and what they're trying to do as far as position-wise. We saw that DP action with that 6X. Unfortunately, he's going to want those shots back. It's so tough, man, and that's so crazy. At the highest level, if you get caught driving, they are shooting you out of that car 100 out of 100 times. I mean, the accuracy on some of these players, is insane. So that's something that you definitely have to prepare yourselves, especially when you start, ranking up through the higher stages. Your car tracking, even tire shooting. I think that is something that a lot of players don't realize, is shooting out tires and competitive is so strong. Oh, that's a nice shot right there with that 3X. And I love how he instantly was straight to the bike. But you also recognize, this is a little far away, kind of a scary push. So it looks like he opts to just hold it for now.
I mean, they were scouting that building for some time, so they knew that there were at least some enemies there. And, once one of them popped out, bam, immediately taken out with that DP. For me, though, this is early game. If, for UN, if they wanted to get aggressive, I feel like that would have been the moment, get the knock, pop in your vehicles, and just straight send it if you are looking for those early kills. Because early game, you have to assume other squads, there's not going to be a high chance of another team being around to third party. So it all depends, what strategy these teams want to implement coming into their first game, of course. But you saw it for UN. Yeah, not looking too aggressive, though. I feel like that would have been the chance.
Well, the thing is this, right? We saw Lelouch immediately turn to his bike, right?
But didn't get on.
Instantly. So the thing is, though, that just goes to show that is what he normally does. Right? In his mind, it's okay, knock, instant push to the vehicle, let's go. But you never know, just because of the fact that we're in PMCO at this high level, the hesitation, you know what, no, it's a little far, let's stop. So that just goes to show, this is what I was talking about, is teams need to play the way they normally play. If your first instinct is let's get in the bike and let's go, you got to be able to play like that even at this high stage, because they could have easily gotten the rest of those kills and were able to do it, because at the same time, that other team that's holding there, they're nervous. They're you can catch them off guard. So, I mean, that's something that I think that's a really good thing to look at right there.
Couldn't agree more. That hesitation, 100%, that's going to be what, kills you at the end of the day. You just got to come into these maps and just play the game that your team could do. So, looking on around, a couple teams going to be proactive with the new zone. Circle does shift, so military base no longer really in favor. If you have a team down there, they're probably going to be using that bridge over there to the east side to move their way on up. Looking around here, a couple teams in the center. We hear a couple shots, but it looks like Team Masters. We saw them early on. They had another spot in their sight lines. They avoided that fight, but now they'll be taking this one.
Yeah, that's a scary shot right there. Umar was right by the broken UAS. He's going to go ahead and switch on back. There is a dossier right next to there, so he should be able to get out of there relatively simply. We'll see what he opts to be able to do here in a second. Ragnar, we saw them as well with the 3X, trying to be able to get some spots. So yeah, after those shots, they're just say, you know what, let's go ahead and give up this location and just play it a little safer here at the start.
Safety is key. Always make sure to wear your seatbelt while driving, as we are going to be popping on into Gamers Unite Nations. Uh-oh.
Bye-bye.
Woof, woof, woof. You might want to pop.
And here we are. We can see right now we got 4M Bobo just getting some nice shots with that M16. Nice taps. Does get beat up a little bit, though. He's going to go ahead and peek right behind that box. Hold it down for now. The rest of his team needs to kind of go ahead and find some other angles to help support him. You can't re-peek that. Ooh. Yeah, the second you re-peek those shots, you got to know that you have their teammates just looking right at you. And they punished him for that really quickly.
I see Rasha from 4 Warrior Men working their way on up that hill, looking for that alternate angle right on top of Uncalled For. So I'm really looking forward to see what Rasha can pull off over there, catch him off guard, get a nice little spray in, and allow some room for Bobo to get picked up. We start to see those smokes get deployed, and oh, okay, so Uncalled, they're peeling off this one. They are full-blown escape mode right now.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to survive. I mean, this is the second match of the day. We're in Sanhok now, and they just can't afford to get taken out early because at the end of the day, top 16, that's the most important thing. And if you put up 0 points on the board, that is just devastating for your total. So I kind of can't blame them for just playing this a little bit safer, especially considering that, I mean, if they got a knock, they have to run out wide in the open there. It's just too dangerous.
Danger is the name of the game, though, Hot Jukes. Don't forget that.
That's true.
Don't forget that. You got to risk it for
Danger.
the biscuit. Hey, Hot Jukes Danger out here. And Team Masters.
No, it's Hot Danger Jukes. It's my middle name, bro. Come on now.
Hot Danger Jukes. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Hey, you learn something new every single day. So we are really early on in this game of Sanhok, and I believe that also kind of explains why we saw Uncalled For. They were pinned down. They got the quick pickup and then quickly retreated on out of there. They cannot afford to get taken out this early on. Getting taken out right now would be 0 points. We see some shots in the kill feed And we start to see, this is Sanhok, Hot Jukes, we start to see that snaking strategy popular on this map.
And that's something that's just a tried and true strat. You know, the 5S strat. You got snake, stun, smoke, shimmy, and then snake once again here because.
Oh, let me write this down. Let me write this down. Say it again.
Yes, correct.
Snake,
first
smoke.
rule.
The
first rule of Sanhok. It's a 5S strat. First one is snake. Second is smokes. Second, third, stuns, stun grenades.
Stuns.
Ooh. 4. Shimmy. While laying down, you got to shimmy. See, right now we're looking at saying he's not shimmying. He's just laying straight. You know, you got to get the little wiggles on, dude. Got to get them thumbs warmed up. And last but not least, snake once again, man. I'm telling you. That's the strat.
Oh, so is that 4 S's or 5 S's then?
No, it's
now
5.
You're just throwing me up.
No, it's 5.
Okay.
It's 5. First rule is snake, and the last rule is snake. It's very important. Very important strategy. And not to mention, I think it is a strategy highly used among the entire player base of PUBG Mobile. When I play in Classics, dude, there's people using that strat all day long to get that chicken dinner. So, I mean, I'm not surprised to see it here, even at the highest level.
I'm not going to lie. About 85% of my gameplay is snaking it on out, hiding behind the boulder and just watching enemies run by, not even spotting me. The whole time I'm just like, ha, sucker. I'm going for those placement points. Even though, you know, you don't really get the placement points in the pubs, I'm over here thinking I'm rank 1, all right? S tier. I'm telling you right here. So looking on over here, still following on up with uncalled for. They're going to be healing on up just a little bit, all in their little shacks, just trying to maybe come up with some type of game plan. But Martin Gaming, Team 13, we see them over here. It looks like they're doing some scouting. We see them peeking over here, getting the information. They might be a little skeptical that there's a team in these compounds over here.
Yeah, they're just playing it really, really careful. I mean, that's the problem when it comes to Sanhok. You can do a lot of scouting, and you can kind of be like, all right, you know, is there anybody here? But these guys will not make a sound. They will hide so well, and they'll be just TP peeking like we're seeing right now. El Chapo just holding that angle, waiting to catch someone run on by. And if they do, I mean, they just take you out so quickly, and you can't afford to even lose one person on this map. So I could definitely see why we see the hesitation coming out from these teams on the movement and just kind of waiting for that next zone, just trying to get in there safe.
Definitely don't want to cross paths with El Chapo either. So I definitely understand that hesitation that we're starting to see coming on in from Martin Gaming as they are going to continue to scout out, maybe pop ahead if one of their enemies
throwing some nades, Molotovs, just kind of trying to play keep away from on the side of Gamers Unite Nations. And they got a nade of their own. He's going to be able to hit this one. This could be a really good chance for him to open up this fight. I think Rasha heard it. He heard that pin click, said, you know what, I don't want to stay in this spot. Or maybe actually going to go pick up his teammate. He's going to have to make those adjustments rather quickly as this is a stalemate, but this zone's closing, Dave, on that.
It is closing, and we are going to start to see Gamers Unite. They're going to take full advantage of their current position right now, taking them shots on our squad. Hate Gaming trying to make their approach down that hill. We do see that smoke tunnel. They did deploy that, but they didn't wait for those smokes to actually bloom enough in time. That's because the blue zone right on their tail end, and they might be able to get that pickup up. Popping on over here for UN Clan. The snake in the grass, not just the snakes.
And you can just hear that M249 just going nuts. And this is such a great gun to have in the late game. He's going to go through that reload process. Now he's got 100 rounds. You know, he's going to pre-fire like crazy, try to get those finishes, and he has to get those finishes quickly. The zone is starting to close on them, and they got to be able to get those movements going. And no one is in it right now. You just see some finishes going off in the kill feed. Looks like he did hit that nade. So now that entire area is clear on this side, though. Hey, Chifu, a lot of jump shots going on. Trying to get some going. Got that M7, very, very strong gun to have, but not able to quite get that right angle through the window.
Dude, there's 3 teams right now fighting for whatever type of cover they can get in these compounds. Shifu with those jump shots. Here comes the support from their squad mates. Full-blown aggression right here. Gamers Unite still going to be up, at least with the duo. Psycho in the tail end, get peppered as they're trying to help their squad mate and provide that support. Shifu with the grenade. Knows exactly where Psycho is. We'll have to pay attention to the kill feed, but my goodness, Hot Juice, 4 teams to go.
Yeah, you can see right now, Hey Gaming, they're doing a pretty good job. They still have 3 remaining teammates, but their blue zone is starting to press them so hard. This one hurts, and there goes Psycho. You know, he's waiting to catch him, but he's able to hit those shots. That's the question. Looks like he's not able to. That smoke came out perfectly, but then goes away. But so much pressure. Hate's doing a great job of just pressing this and not allowing him to really get that peek. Here comes the nade inside. You know, he warned his teammate, and he was able to get that confirmed. So a great play right there from Hate Gaming. And now it's just one remaining member left. And this is going to be Power AL63. I mean, man, this is going to be a really good play. I'm sorry, Luca Nostra Power. So it is just AL63. If he's able to make this play right here, this would be so solid. He has the rock, and he's got the M249. That's the squad wiper, Dave. The squad wiper in action here in Sanhok.
Honestly, if you're going to find yourself in a 2v1, having that M249 is the weapon of choice. The rock, the boulder, the high ground. Looks like ALG knows where Shifu might currently be. Fox doing some zigging and zagging. It's got to be spotted. Here comes the initial shots from the M249.
He's got to be careful and not get baited here. And that's exactly what happened.
Oh.
Yep, yes he did. And what a finish there from Hate Gaming AEU. And what I mean by baited is when you're going against a 2v1, sometimes you will have a player run out in the open while the other teammate pre-fires that spot. And you just think like, oh, I got these free shots. You peek, shoot, and then boom, you get headshot and finish. And that's exactly what we saw in the end. Great play from Hate Gaming EU.
Fox, I mean, hey, wasn't that part of one of the 5 S's you were talking about, the shimmy? It's snake, smoke, stun, shimmy, and then snake again. Fox right there definitely using one of those S's, that shimmy going back and forth, zigging and zagging, drawing out the bait, like you said, that bait. What a clutch play. And not only that, in order to kind of pull off a play like that, Hot Jukes, you need that team communication, man. You need it.
Absolutely. You have to be able to be like, hey, yo, man, I'm gonna run out, pre-fire that rock. And if you're able to go ahead and do that together, you're able to make a play like that. And honestly, they needed to. They needed to make a play in that position because, I mean, we saw Homeboy had that M249, the rock, the hill advantage. If they just keep running in one by one, they're just going to get shredded. So they use those numbers advantage perfectly. We're able to bait them out and get that big chicken dinner. And chicken dinners, considering that there's only 12 matches, I mean, that is almost your ticket punched onto the next stage. So we'll see if they're going to be able to, maintain some decent points, but they should definitely have a lot of relief flowing through their veins after that one.
And not only that, Hate Gaming, one of those teams with a lot of hype coming into the group stages behind them, and a team we were talking about in the pre-show, Hate Gaming, I believe they're in Group C. So if they can continue to have another 2 pretty much pop-off performances in the next 2 games, they're going to be able to roll into tomorrow's matches with that momentum, Hot Jukes.
I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to just continue it. I think that after this match and showing that they were able to get a chicken dinner coming from outside of the zone, I think that's huge. I think that is a big thing to be able to see from a squad, especially coming inside of PMCO. So I got a lot of high hopes for this team. Still got 2 matches left to go, and they could just frag out for the rest of them and end up on top here real easily.
2 matches to go. Miramar coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll end off the evening with Erangel. So make sure not to go anywhere. We will be right back with the next match.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. My name is Hot Jukes here with Mustache Dave, and welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open EUS Spring Split 2021, of course, sponsored by Xiaomi, innovation for everyone. So we've had 2 matches in the books. We got 2 more left to go here. We're going to end up in Miramar on the next one, going over to the desert. You know, you and I love that map. That open field, the snipes, that good stuff. The chaotic driving. It's everything we hope and dream every time we see Miramar.
And the Winchesters. Don't forget that. The Winchesters.
Winnies.
You got the Winnies, baby. The Winnies. And hey, Jukes, I thought your name is Hot Danger Jukes. What happened? What happened, man?
You know,
what
like here's
happened?
the thing.
You just told us a minute ago.
It's my middle name, you know, but the middle name, when you enter your forms, it's always optional. You know what I'm saying? And I just, as a creator, I don't want to be intimidating to the people. You know, I don't want to let them know, you know, or maybe I want to sometimes be a little mysterious and then just be like, no, my middle name's Danger at the right time, you know. But as you can see below, that's my name. And we got Mustache Dave here. And we're going to put in some work. We're going to put in some work today as we go ahead and talk about some of these squads. And hopefully really soon we're going to see what the scores are looking like. Because I want to see which teams are starting to climb up the ranks a little bit. And you can see we got it up right here. Still at first place, of course, is going to be 4 Romanian men as they have played 4 matches today. But looking right now, I'm starting to see, you know, Hate Gaming, EU, already in 10th place with 28 points. They still got 2 games left here today. La Nostra Power is in 6th with 39 points. They've had a really good game. I mean, man, we're starting to see some teams make some moves.
Yeah, so Loca Nostra Power. I mean, to put this into perspective, ladies and gentlemen, and this is, at least in my opinion, this is really, really big because they've only played 2 matches, right? The other teams ahead of them, they've played 4 matches. The teams behind them, they've played 4 matches. So to be in 6th place right now, I know it's real early on still, but it's a good indicator, Hot Jukes. It's a great indicator. And then we go down just a little bit. You called it Hate Gaming EU, 10th place. I mean, this is exactly where the teams from Group C and D, this is exactly where they want to find themselves only after 2 games. It only goes up from here.
I mean, it's huge. I mean, 2 more games to go. They could still put up massive points on the board. Look over here at the rest of the rankings. You know, you can see Scrim Farms. They played yesterday in 17th place. Looking further down, the other Loca Nostra, Ice, unfortunately, not having the same, luck as their Power squad, as that they're in 23rd place. But we're starting to see some people make it up. I think the big surprise so far, I think it's got to be a mixed squad. Yeah, you know, mixed squad. I think they had a lot of love, a lot of expectations coming into this, and unfortunately just not having the game that they were looking for.
All those hearts in the chat, man, they're going to be turning into some angry face emojis soon if Mixed Squad can't pull something off in the next 2 matches. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, every single group, they have a total of 12 games. Yes, it's real early on. These teams playing today, they've only played 2 matches. So Mixed Squad, we saw with around 2 points, they definitely have time to catch up. It's just the fact that now they're playing that catch up this early on instead of playing that mustard, baby. And talking about mustard, Hot Jukes, we are heading to Miramar. It's getting hot. It's getting sweaty. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle on in. Bring it to us, Jukes. Bring it to us.
Let's go. You can see right now we're in the desert, baby. Getting on the plane, locked and loaded. And kind of to circle back to what you were talking about when it comes to Mixed Squad. Personally, myself, I will give every single team a pass when it comes to the first 2 games of a tournament, because that's where you have those initial, shakes, those initial nerves, everything. It happens to everybody, no matter what you say, even if you play at the highest level, you're going to have it. So I'll give you a little bit of a break. Going forward, they got to be out the way by now. If you want to be a championship team, I think you'll have to see the squad start off stronger sooner rather than later. And I'll give you an excuse for 1. Game 1 for sure. On 2, a little bit. But game 3, you got to come in hot, baby. You got to make it happen.
So they used their card already. I mean, that's what I was saying, though. You don't want to use your card this early.
If you had the punch card, if you had the Hot Jukes excuse punch card, game 1 and game 2, they're already punched for Mixed Squad, in my opinion. Okay. So that's it. So game 3, game 4, and for everybody out here, I know you guys are fans of a lot of these teams. We like to give criticism at the same time. We got to call it as it is. I got to look and I got to see them put in that work and put up those numbers, because at the end of the day, numbers don't lie, and that's what's going to get you them big money.
$14 million USD total prize pool for 2021. So talking about big money, well, that could buy me a lot of skins in the game, Hot Jukes. Maybe even all the skins. Maybe that Glacier M4, if they re-release it again, hey, I think 14 million, that might be able to get it for me. Getting into the game, circle number 1 is going to be out there to that west side. Got a couple teams already looking to get a little sweaty. A little sweaty right now. Hate Gaming.
In pecado. Look at that. Sin City. There, we got a couple good teams here looting up reds. You can see this is 4 Warrior Men. This is a team I told you we're going to be looking at. Look closely. Trying to loot these apartments. But, man, they are having to be really careful because Hate Gaming EU is really, really close by. And they've been doing pretty well so far. Oh.
I think if you're Hate Gaming, you have... Ooh. Wow, I think if you Hate Gaming, yeah, that is actually insane. I think you have a lot more to lose in this situation, considering they're in 10th place with 1 chicken dinner and 12 kill points. I think if you're Hate Gaming, you're going to need to place one nice and slow. Make sure you have that information before taking the fight.
This is super risky, too, because anytime you play in Picado, you got to really be careful of your angles because you never know where a team is. There's so many different spots where you can hide, hold. Oh, look at those shots right there from Shifu. That door was right there. That kind of like limited his availability to try to get those shots off. But at the same time, like Hate, they're split in a 2-2 position here. I think they do recognize that there's only 2 members of 4 Warrior Men. And I think they're going to start trying to press this right now, especially after those shots. You can see some smokes, anything to buy some time. The rest of their squad needs to come and help them out.
They're out here playing Tetris with all the different levels that they're on right here of this building, and yeah, you said it. You said it the best. I mean, 4 Warrior
Men to eject.
Kind of separated. Yeah, they're kind of separated right now. I mean, looking at this, still missing a helmet, missing the basic necessities, the gear needed to take these early fights. And looking at the mini map, I don't see that. I don't know who it is exactly. Oh, here it is, Rasha. I don't see them trying to push and get closer. Yeah, right. Like they're not moving a muscle.
He is way out of position right now. What they need to do is that those squads, they need to jump out the back. I think that's exactly what they did. And they need to have Bobo cover their back angle for them. So, I mean, it's all about team communication and working together. And it looks like so far it's going to be pretty decent. They're going to get moving over and just try to survive because, man, they smelt blood. Hate Gaming was coming for them. And luckily they were able to kind of get that ejection just in the nick of time. But how much longer will they be able to do it? Because right now, on this side of 4 Warrior Men, they're super split up. And you can just see the difference in play style between these 2 teams immediately.
Like, if Bobo was to get knocked here, they're probably going to bleed out, right? Like, there's just not enough time. Same thing with Rasha. I don't think if both those off angles, if one of them was to get knocked, I don't see realistically that support from the 4 Warrior Men, from the duo to run out there and risk it. But it looks like we got 2 members right now of No Hate. They're going to be pressing the situation, getting awfully close. We see the pre-fire right now, giving away a lot of information. Fox is like, okay, I'm just going to go on the inside right now.
Yeah, the thing about Fox is, though, he's got no helmet. He's got a Tommy gun, and he's also split from his team. These guys need to make sure that they execute patience and stick together. I mean, that's what Hate Gaming needs to do. If they do that, they should be able to win this fight because right now, 4 Warrior Men are very, very split. And Bobo, I mean, even peeking that is dangerous because, like you mentioned, these guys get knocked, they're not going to get back up. So we'll see if they decide to press these 2 remaining members. It's just almost like a little game of tag and peekaboo right now. Finally, you see Rasha. He got in a buggy, and he's coming around to come help. But Hate Gaming, I mean, as a triple, 3 members looking to press the issue and catch these guys while they're currently split.
Yeah, such a scrappy early game fight. I mean, we're missing helmets. We might even be missing some vest over here. Jaja still going to be holding down those apartments, and they're almost their own fight amongst themselves. A little 1v1 between them and Bobo. But looking on over here, the trio from Hate Gaming, they're going to be pressing this one. They know that there's some enemies right in front of them as the pre-fire from Fox will be connecting.
That's a 1v1, though. Where's your teammate? Your teammate's got to be come close by. He does end up winning those shots, though. So, man, Fox feeling himself finally from the top ropes. We do see some nice shots coming out. That's going to help him out a little bit. Oh, the Winchester shot. Come on. Shifu popping it off. That's gonna say, hey, don't be peeking that window. I got my panda hat on. I got my Winchester in hand. I'm coming out. I mean business. So that's a great shot. Love to see that.
You love to
that
see
when he always gets me hyped, bro. Oh my goodness.
Almost got the knock too. I mean, that thing took out a lot of damage from Rasha. Now there's only 2 angry men. Wow, okay. Hey, this whole time they had a buggy at their disposal, that backup plan. I believe this is the buggy that Rasha used to reposition, rotate to their squad mates. But it is what it is. I mean, I guess they attempted to take the fight, but like you mentioned, they weren't close enough to actually provide that support to their duo. So it was almost like a soft 2-2 split that whole time.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we were talking about, right? I mean, we mentioned it. We predicted that is exactly what was going to happen, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, Hate Gaming recognized that, hey, guess what? They're really split up right now. Let's use our numbers advantage. Just send these 2 guys up front, get those 2 nice kills, and just move on from there. And that's exactly what they did. Bobo and Rasha up there, up top. What they could have done is they need to tell their teammates, hey, come to us. You know, come try to get into this building, the stadium. We'll bait you out. We'll make sure we pre-fire those corners. And maybe we could turn the fight around from there. But unfortunately, they just stuck too long, and Hate Gaming punished them.
PMCO group stage, man. Now's the time. I mean, this is the time that teams, they play these games, and they really push their team communication, their skills to the limits, you know, to try to excel and push on into those next stages, those next rounds. And I feel like another skill is knowing when to just throw in the towel, give up that fight, and go for those placement points. And I believe that's what that duo, that's what they're faced with now, right? They got to try to avoid running into other squads here on Miramar, try to possibly avoid any dangerous fights. Maybe if they can steal a kill here or there, go for it. But placement points is now the name of the game. And looking on over here, we see a lot of teams just, you know, cruising on in. This is Miramar after all. Lots of terrain to cruise on over.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of play they opt to go for here. This is always so tough when it comes to Miramar. The driving in that bus, full speed boosting, but one wrong hill, one dip, and you are stuck. That's not what you want to have happen to you at this stage. But yeah, I mean, we've seen after, you know, watching so much competitive, playing so much competitive, you definitely see the meta shift. And I think right now the top, if you want to be a championship team, playing super tight together as a squad is just a must. The old, you know, the times of old of doing a 4-man split and just trying to make shots by yourself happen, it's dead. That is a dead meta. You're going to get punished for it. The squad is just going to send 4 people versus 1 and do that 4 times over. And each player, no matter how good you are, you're not going to be able to take it on a full squad unless they make a really, really silly mistake. Look at those shots, though, coming from across the way. That's a really nice one right there. Murado with the jump, trying to be able to get it done, but he's getting pieced up, or was his teammate just reloads going all over, just missing shots like crazy. Finally, he is taken down by Cosmo. Man, that was a little too close for comfort, though. And now he's going to have to come. Yeah, Cosman's going to have to go run and help out his teammate.
The teacher is pulling up with a school bus over here, trying to get the kids so that they're not late for school, and the kids fighting back, saying it's a snow day out here. And
get up!
Teacher up. Open shots, open season. Cosmo is going to be spotted, not thirsted yet, able to get behind that tree, that skinny dead tree. Busta running out in the open with that Uzi. Going to be able to survive for the time being. Has a grenade out. Needs to be careful. Don't toss that by mistake. There's not a smoke over here, but yeah, it looks like 2 teachers going to be clocking out for the day.
Yeah, so you see Zuki, I mean, he was waiting on the other end of this hill. Laid down shots with that M4. That's going to help him reduce that recoil. It does get one of the members. Unfortunately, wasn't able to hit the shots to hit the second. So, yeah, just like that, they're going to have to make the 2-player sacrifice with those smokes and nice little reset coming out. I think you just have to give up on this fight completely if you're a teacher and just, you know, lick your wounds and try to be able to get some good placement. Oh, never mind. You're dead.
Never mind.
GG.
Never mind. GG. It's an early school day. It's an early school day. They'll have one more game to go. Erangel will be the next map coming on up for the teachers. So they got a couple minutes to make sure that they dot their I's and get an A+ on their homework. And I think that's going to be it for the teacher puns for me.
Yeah, you know, well, I'm here in Texas, so it's snowing out here, so teachers aren't working anyway. So they're going to be able to get a nice little break right now. Nice some shots coming down from 7 Esports. We haven't really got to see too much of them so far. And we see them with the mini, popping up some shots here in the blue zone. This is only zone number 2. Miramar rotating is difficult. It takes a lot of time. So I think we'll see some squads kind of have to do this, blue zone strategy and just edge their way in little by little. Still, though, you got to get some vehicles. It's just a must requirement inside of Miramar.
Yeah, and what makes it even more challenging, as we saw right there from Nacho, running on foot. I mean, you don't want to be running on foot this early game in the blue zone.
Facts.
Looking on over here, though, no limits. Looks like they're a little bit split. They got a 2-1-1 going on. Very interesting strat coming on out from them. They might be able to have some nice angles onto Gamers Unite, but this goes back to the first fight in Picado. If one of your off angles, if Nikolai gets spotted and taken out, the chances of Nikolai getting thirsted, I want to say, is a 9 out of 10. So you really need to be able to have some quick thinking, some quick turnaround in case you do start to receive some cover fire and know when to peek and when not to peek.
Yeah, playing those off angles is so tough. So tough. You have to play extra careful. There's only one team, in my opinion, that is able to pull off the 4-man split strategy well, and that's Nova Esports. They're the only ones.
Nova?
They have, Nova Esports is the only one, in my opinion, that can pull off 4-man split. They have so much synergy that even though they're 4 split, they put themselves in positions to cover each other's angles. They peek at the same time. They shoot at the same time. It's like something I've never seen before. I've never seen another team be able to do exactly the way they do it. That takes an extreme amount of synergy to another level to be able to accomplish. And I think if you're just starting out, playing tighter, shoulder to shoulder is definitely the easier method.
I mean, for sure, right? I mean, just the fact that you'll be able to have your squad mates able to help you provide that cover fire just in case, you never know. But Nikolai, looks like Nikolai trying to regroup with their squad mates, did see an opportunity to get a headshot right there. Able to take down one of the members, get the knock, and that's going to open it up. Nikolai pushing back to Simple over here on a little hill in the trees. Now, I want to see Banana also regroup, though. I mean, Nikolai calling off that off angle. Banana, we can see out there in the distance, very far away from their squad mates still.
Yeah, I think everyone right now is just trying to get a hold of, playing inside a PMCO. You can see just a little bit of hesitation, maybe not really true like insane map IQ of like, I know exactly every little hill and rock inside of Miramar. So I think right now they're just kind of just pressing up little by little, just trying to find their spots as they go and make the best plays they can.
One thing I do see happening right here, though, Gamers Unite, they're in their compounds, but they're slowly getting surrounded, right? No limits. They're starting to try to get the upper hand on them and look down. And as the zones start to collapse, shrink a little more, that's going to force other squad mates to potentially use that compound as cover to push on in through as well. So looking real quick, Gamers Unite, they need to make sure that they have a backup plan on how they're going to get on out of this situation.
Yeah, they got to be careful. I mean, it's still zone number 3. They have a little bit of time. The problem, though, is the vehicle situation. If they don't have any good vehicles there rotating on a hard shift, ooh, so tough. And we can see right now, Martin Gaming, that is a beautiful little buggy. That's going to help out their team, considering that there's only a duo. So they should be able to get a move on it, but got to be careful as you move on through the map. Going on over, another fight, Team Masters, going against Respect Esports. Just kind of trading some shots back and forth right now, letting each other know that they're there, and just waiting for this next zone as it shifts to the south side here, Dave.
Oh, what a shift. And ladies and gentlemen, if you were fiending for some action here on this Miramar map, well, this circle is a blessing for you, as it's going to force a majority of our teams over here on that west side to push on in. And Nacho catching the bullet right there. They popped on out of there. Bronco trying to avoid the vehicle explosion, but Team Masters getting the last laugh right there. And on top of that, taking out Caster. So Respect Esports, they're getting picked apart left and right now.
Team Masters, that's going to be kill number 4, because, yeah, the rest of his squad from Respect, I don't see him anywhere nearby, so it looks like he's going to end up just bleeding out unless They send it to him, and you see Poppy just kind of in and out of that vehicle there in that corner, just trying to decide of whether it's worth it to really try to go and risk saving his teammate right now. I mean, that is tough because they're completely surrounded. You can see Team 16 on this hill, 4UN, looking in that exact direction. So, yeah, it looks like Poppy and Birdot opt to just hold it down and just let their teammate pass on by.
4UN.
Sacrifice.
Nice spot too.
Sacrifices have to be made.
Ooh, Poppy. Nice little spot up there. Overlooking a lot of teams. They have this boulder to work with. We see Monk going for that lean peak, doing a little scouting. I believe might be able to actually spot out Ragnar. But Poppy, from the safety and comfort, yes, they might have only 2 up, but they're not slowing down. They're still trying to get these kills on the board.
You have to. I mean, you have to just top 16. Top 16 is all you need. So you got to put up just some consistent points. If you put up, 5, 6 a game, you should be safe. It's just those 1-point games, 0 games. Those are the ones that just really, just punish you. So we'll see how they're going to be able to fare as the rest of the match does end up. I like that vehicle positioning. Really nice kind of car wall they set to their back because they realize that is open. So I love to see that kind of preparation coming out of 4UN clan. And the rest of these teams are going to have to start making these rotations, and this is the scary part. I mean, look how many vehicles are already smoking, Dave.
Yeah, right there on the edge as well. 4UN, they have the high ground, but every time they peek over, they get peppered, they get shot, and oh no, talk about playing risky. 3 members in the Bronco popping out, taking some shots. Nikolai from No Limits, tagged and bagged right there. Simple, stuck in a sandwich, man. Simple is between a couple teams, and Rex saying, Simple, I gotta go, man. I'm gonna try to survive, and you do you up there. And Rex driving right on into danger themselves. The last one alive, too.
Yeah,
Rex is the last one alive. And they're done.
I was about to say, I didn't know if that buggy spun out on accident, because if it did, I was like, that's going to help him out, because he did not want to go in that direction. Unfortunately, regardless, he was taken out and spotted. Yeah, late vehicle rotations, I mean, especially in Miramar, I mean, people are just waiting to hear those sounds. Any little vehicle they hear going, their eyes and just almost like dilate as they're just ready to get those free kills. And that's exactly what happened. We'll see, some nice looting up. Zone starting to close here, and we'll see where it's about to pop here in the next few seconds.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. A lot of these teams, it's almost 19 minutes into the game. They've just been sitting, waiting. They've been setting up shop on these choke points, and now is the time to take full advantage of it. They got here first. They were able to kind of predict where these zones might favor, and they made sure to set up shop in those spots. And we start to see a lot of teams late rotating, kind of getting scattered in the process, and honestly just trying to survive.
Yeah, I didn't like that stop on that buggy. I mean, especially since he saw the zone pop, parking himself in that position, I think he's just he's completely stuck out. So that's a tough one right there. Tough decision that was made. There's 2 remaining members here from Uncalled For. 1 kill on the board for themselves, and they are way out of the zone. 10 seconds left on the clock. And look, this is what I've been talking about. Mixed squad. A lot of, top end teams, they would be heading into zone right now. But mixed squad, they're just like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and stay here and get some kills. That's why it's so hard to rotate late inside of PMCO.
3 kills so far. If they can get an additional kill, that would be equivalent to a 6th place finish. So best case scenario, mixed squad, they get this final blow, they get this kill point, and if they get taken out in the process, so be it. Both of them, though. Ooh, okay, they both have their own separate bikes.
Risky.
But I feel a YOLO. Yeah, I see a YOLO push happening right here.
I mean, they were looking in the back the whole time. They weren't prepping to, they just blind pushed. And that's just something you really can't do at this level. Because if you do, I mean, you're just basically flipping a coin. And this late in the game, this many players, it's usually going to flip on the wrong side. We'll see if they're going to be able to get lucky, though. You can see some, okay, Team Hate taking out that angle. That's the person who stopped in that buggy we saw earlier. And the fight is starting to ramp up as we're starting to end this Miramar match. Just look how many squads just all over the place, completely surrounding this area.
And the thing, I really appreciate Hate Gaming's position right now. They're playing it kind of slow. It's not going to be in the zone, but they're making sure to clear out their backside, making sure to take out any stragglers that might be working their way on in from the north. And now we start to see that smoke wall. Jaja still kind of in the tail end of this one, might be spotted from our squad, Gamers Unite. But look at this. I mean, the synergy right now from Hate Gaming.
Yeah, hey, I love to see Hate Gaming's kind of play style. They're playing really well together. Here comes a nice angle there from Jaja. Is going to get the finish, and that's going to be one more team down and out. So 5 kills in total. Now, we saw some shots coming all the way from 7 Esports across the way, but that is way too far. They're going to be able to get that revive off for now. And I can only wonder what's going through this player's mind and like, hey, what do we do? We're at the edge of the circle. I'm thinking they're just going to opt to just hold it down and try to hit some shots here.
I mean, Hate Gaming, they're finding themselves in these situations that could be dangerous, but somehow, some way, still managing to just continue pushing forward. And right now, 7 Esports currently looking on top of them. Hate Gaming. Ooh, next zone does go on up, though. Hot Jukes, a shift down there to the south.
And that is going to be on the favor side of Hate Gaming. So they got to be feeling good now. Now what they need to do is just keep doing what they've been doing. They need to stand up straight, start getting hyper aggressive. You do not want teams to push up on you for free. And that's exactly kind of what's happening right now from Team 15. That's going to be Loco Nostra Power. This team has been fragging out like crazy. 3 kills so far. And they got their full squad up. They got to get through Hate Gaming though. And if they do, man, they're going to put up some big points today.
Loco Nostra Power, some could say, based off the 2 games today, the best team in this lobby, just because of the amount of points they're able to gather.
Push.
Slilky, though, with that tracking on the vehicle, is going to be spotting one of them taking down ASX.
Yeah, that was a tough one right there. Driving up that high, he just pretty much exposed himself completely. And now they're stuck, moving up slowly. Those are some great shots, though. That's a great return one. Hate Gaming is busy picking up one of their members. El Chapo's going to get the finish. That's going to be another kill on the board for them. El Chapo holding it down, doing a great job. The blue zone's coming, though. He needs to run. He knows that. And he's going to try to get that first aid off, though. He's got to be careful because that blue is right next to him. Is he going to be able to get that first aid off in time? He does, just by the skin of his teeth as they are on the inside of the zone. And he is just completely to apply the pressure. And Hate Gaming gets third-partied from the other side. So now it is just these last 2 remaining members from Loco Nostra Power, and they got to get it done.
El Chapo right there, really blessed and fortunate that Jaja was taken out from that third party. But talking about teams fighting for any sliver of the pie that they can, Team Masters right now squaring off against 4UN Clan as they're trying to make the breach right now. And I believe 4UN, they only got one more up on the outskirts. Berlin with that pre-fire.
Lelouch gonna have to be able to do it. Oh, the jump shots. Yeah, what a scary revive. He does try to get it down. He gets one, but unfortunately wasn't able to get the other. So now it is up to Team Masters. They got to get these revives off quick. Zone is starting to close. Looks like they might be just inside of it, though. So they're going to be able to breathe for a little bit longer. There goes Team 19. Respect Esports. They're gone. Loco Nostra Power still alive, still putting in work. I mean, this team is going to be a team to be reckoned with so far, as they have been consistent every single game that we've seen here in day number 2.
That is true, but they are going to be gatekept really hard right now, right there on the edge. El Chapo, Style 77, kind of playing leapfrog on who gets the revive on whom. Looks like they're able to both heal on up, and they have a little hill for the time being, a little dip to use to their advantage to kind of wait this one out. The next zone does pop, so oh, man, they don't have a lot of time to wait out. They have not been lucky when it comes to these zones here on this Miramar game.
Yeah, haven't been lucky, but regardless, they've been playing really well together as a team. They've got 8 kills, and they've at least secured 4th place. So regardless, they're going to put up some mad points. Will they be able to put up more? That's the question. It's Team 10. Rosavilia. They have quite a good angle right now. They still got their 4 teams. That's a bad smoke, though. Yeah, that's a really tough smoke because that's going to eliminate his sight lines from that direction. And right now, since he is in the zone, they really want to put the pressure on. And Team Masters, they're just playing it real quiet right now as the zone starts closing.
Yeah, I mean, they have the zone, and they have a huge building to work with as well if they wanted to kind of pile in for that cover. And Style 77, they were on their own individual snake mission to see who can survive, and they're going to be spotted right there. El Chapo. Healing on up. Is El Chapo going to attempt to get another pickup on their squad mate, or just let him be one of the casualties of war right now? As we only have 4 teams to go right now, though. Team Masters also in their engagement.
Will this be the El Chapo Great Escape? You know, he wished he had a tunnel right now. Unfortunately, he doesn't, as he's going to have to go ahead and spam those first aids because his blue zone, look at it, is just straight chunking him. He's going to use every single one of his utility to try and get one more placement point. Will he be able to survive this last remaining member of Mixed Power? He's going to have to start running right after this, and he's going to have to run full speed ahead. We're going to see where he's going to opt to go. Is he sending it? Going to make it in just barely. Yeah, looks like he is going to survive. Oh, he does get finished, though, from Roz. So there goes El Chapo. Only 3 remaining teams. 1 remaining member from Mixed Squad. So they're going to put up some decent placement points here as he's just trying to survive his absolute best. But it looks like it may be a pretty tight fight between Team Masters or Roz. Whoever gets this knock, first knock, it's going to be huge.
And this is like the best case scenario for the solo from Mixed Squad as well. Just remain undetected and let these 2 Titans fight it out for that second place.
That's exactly what you need to do. Just wait, try to be able to maybe sneak off a couple points from them. And he's just hiding right now in between that blue shipping container. I mean, he don't want to move at all. I mean, I can't blame him by any means. I mean, every single point just matters so crucially when it comes to trying to be able to qualify for the next stage. We see Busta, everybody just laying down, playing, not wanting to make the first move, trying to play it so carefully. Starting to see some smokes come out. That's a huge smoke wall coming out from Fandy. He's going to go ahead and start trying to find this off angle. This is a very, very tough push. He's pushing by himself. He needs a teammate. He needs a squad mate to be able to try and use that to his advantage. Hits that lay down, and Busta's just staring right in that direction. Yeah, I think Fandy realizes it. A lot of indecision. They were able to push up at least this far, though. So we'll see who's going to be able to get this first knocks. Smokes are going to start closing soon. What's the play?
Reposition, snake it out. Use these smokes. Once when all these smokes dissipate, these players, they are going to be right in front of each other. Here comes the shots.
Bait shot. Yep, he goes and takes those, and you can see Busta with that angle. But now a nice jump. Uzi. That's going to be great for Fandy. So it looks like Team Masters, now they have the advantage. He's going to go ahead and get the finish. That's a really strong one. Nice little teamwork right here. They need to work together and press this fight even further. And Fandy runs on his own through and gets caught out from the smoke. So now they're going to have to go for the reset. Ooh. Never mind. Berlin just said, I'll take him all out on my own, baby. Welcome to the city of Berlin. Population him. And now he has a perfect opportunity. Oh my gosh, throw the pan. Throw the pan, get the finish, I'll go nuts. Oh my gosh, we're so close. Oh my goodness. That would have been insane. Come on, go. You got to finish this strong. Got that AK. You saw him. You know they're hurt. Can you get this 2v1? Gets one.
There's one.
I can't believe they actually 1v1'd him. Now it's up to Berlin. Berlin got it again, but can he do it again another time? Oh! The trade. Oh, what is going on? Oh, what a finish from Goa to be able to win the game. Mixed Squad. What a
Mixed Squad.
finish.
Mixed Squad right now in the chat. I mean, 3 kills from Cola 77. 2 of those kills coming at the very end, taking out the duo right there from Team Masters. Almost got the pan. I mean, I gotta watch your replay. I feel like the pan, so close, dude. I mean, so they definitely heard the pan land near them. Like, what's that? What's that? Oh man, almost getting that pan finish. That would have been in the history books. But regardless, though, that play, I mean, we have to go back just a few more steps before that 2v1. Koa 77, so passive. You know, the trigger discipline to make sure not to give away their position to allow the engagement between Team Masters and Razar, right? Like, just that alone, it set them up to even have a fighting chance at the end right there. And, hey, a lot of people, they were telling us about Mixed Squad. And, hey, Jukes, we were talking before this game, like, Mixed Squad, they need to do something. They need to do something. They did it, dude. Like, they got that chicken dinner in such a clutch way as well.
Guess what, Dave? The Hot Jukes excuse card, right? I said it. Game 1, game 2. You get it. You get the excuse. Game 3, you got to show up. And that's exactly what they did. And that is what makes me so hyped to be able to see it finish like that. I mean, got to give it to Berlin. Berlin made an insane play to be able to get into that situation. I would have just loved to see a little bit more patience from both of them because there was 2 remaining members. They could have just full send it together and got the win. But instead, tried to go for other angles, ended up fighting Koa 1v1. And it looks like he was just able to get that kill with the last bullet, dude. I mean, these guys had 1 HP each, just shimmying back and forth. And Koa was able to get that last hit. But, man, that's a finish that I want to see in PMCO, man. That was hype. That got me pumped up. Could you imagine the adrenaline going between these 2 guys towards the end? Doing those shimmy shots, hip fire? Oh, insane.
All I know is they're holding down that spray, just thinking to themselves, like, come, like, one more bullet. That's all we need. One more bullet. And you nailed it right there. Berlin, if there was an MVP, I know Koa 77 clutched it out at the end. Clutched it out. But Berlin, I mean, that whole game, on the up and up. I mean, we saw Berlin able to get a couple clutch revives for their squad mates to be able to continue fighting with that chance to get that winner chicken dinner. So I like to see, and we are seeing, kind of similar to yesterday, as the day progresses, as the games progress, we start to see some standout players, right? We start to see those players stand out amongst the others. So, hey, I mean, yesterday, game 4 was crazy as heck. Game 4 today, if I had to bet some UC, I'm going to say it's going to be pretty crazy as well, because now I can feel it. The players, they're loose now. They're loose. They might have shook off those nerves from game 1, game 2. They're playing loose, man, and that is exactly what they need to be doing.
That's what it takes. Sometimes you just got to get a couple kills in. You got to be able to wipe a couple squads, get that confidence up, and start feeling yourself. I mean, it's almost like, in a boxing match. I said it before. It's like a boxing match. Sometimes you got to get hit before you can really start throwing hard. You got to feel that, and I think that's what we finally saw. And as opposed to yesterday, it took 3 games before we saw that in the 4th. Yeah. 3rd game here, I mean, that was a finish. That was what I wanted to see. That really hyped me up. So, I think we got 1 more left inside of Erangel. These teams, they should be pumped. They should be ready to put in some work, baby. I want to see it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We're going to go to a short break, and we will be right back with the final map of day number 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the EU West PMCO Group Stage, sponsored by Xiaomi, Innovation for All. I'm Mustache Dave, joined with Hot Danger Jukes out here, and my goodness, mixed squad. We were talking about it. They punched their excuse cards in game 1, in game 2. Game number 3, they are showing up, Hot Jukes.
They showed up, baby. I've been waiting to see it. That's what I'm saying. It's like when it comes to PMCO, especially if you played it for the first time, I gotta see you put up the numbers. Now, the only thing I'll say kind of like a little slant was, playing as a solo player towards the end, snaking it, that to be able to get a win is huge. I still want to see them get a win as a full squad, though. I want to see them go just be able to knock it out the park from start to finish. They got a lot of hype. They've got that momentum going after that chicken dinner now. So I'm really hyped up to see how they finish out the day.
It was a clutch finish, man. It was a clutch finish, but I gotta say, for some reason, Team Masters today, they were able to get that second place finish right there, almost a chicken dinner. But they have been consistent all evening long. With one more game to go, I was crunching the numbers real quick on the Dave calculator. 4 Romanian men. They had 30 kills, right? They had 30 kills in their 4 games. We could see, this is huge, by the way. Their Team Masters already at 23, so they need 7 more kills to match 4 Romanian men. But look at our second place team, man. My goodness, are they just putting in the work here today? 4 points away from breaching that top 1.
Laco Nostra power, baby. 23 kills tied up with Team Masters in kills, but they got some really good placement points. So right now, they are on top of the lobby. They've had more placement points than even 4 Romanian men themselves. 1 game remaining. All they need is 4 points. With the way that they've been playing so far, I don't think it's going to be a problem for them. I think that this is a squad that has just been really consistent from the start. And look at this. Not even a chicken dinner to their name. So, they have really been doing a great job today.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I can only imagine if they can get that chicken dinner in the final map. They're going to make sure to be at the top. And let's see, looking real quick, they are going to be in Group D. So they have this next map to play, and then they're going to have 1 day off. So let's see if they can get that chicken dinner. But here's the other page of the leaderboards. Mixed squad. They were dead last, if I'm not mistaken, or at least second to last coming into that last game. And 1 chicken dinner, boom, baby, shooting them up to 18th position. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, top 16. We're going to say this a lot, Hot Jukes, because we got to remind the people
it's so
what
huge.
They're playing for. Top 16. That's the goal here. Mixed squad, able to get the 18th position right there. They can almost taste it, man. They can almost taste it now.
They can almost taste it. Regardless, anytime you get a chicken dinner, you're going to feel great. You're going to be hyped. You're going to almost feel like a weight is off of your shoulders, especially if you do it early on, because we talked about it and we're going to keep talking about it. Top 16 is what is so huge. So if you get a chicken dinner, it's almost going to be there, but we'll see who's going to get the final chicken dinner today as we go into the last match of the evening, baby, into Erangel. And as you can see, the players were on the plane. Captain Dave, can you please go ahead and walk us through here?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final map of day number 2, Group C versus Group D of the EUS PMCO Group Stage. Thanks for joining us this evening. Hopefully you had a enjoyable flight earlier on, but we are almost to our final destination of the evening. And sit back, relax, and let's get on into the match.
You can see the destination is going to look like it's going to be Novo, as we got a nice plane path coming from the north-south. Thank you, Captain Dave, for bringing us on into here. One thing I want to mention before we start this match, Group C.
Mention it.
Okay, they're playing tomorrow. So that is Hate Gaming EU, Gamers Unite Nations, Gaijin Ronin, Uncalled 4, 7 Esports, Razavlia, Mixed Squad, and No Limits. Those are the teams that I'm going to be looking at really hard. Because since they're going to go back-to-back, if they have not been able to perform too well, they're going to have a tough time going into tomorrow's matches. So considering that they're going to go ahead and bring it right on back, I want to see them finish strong.
Bring it back, baby. Bring it back. And to add to that, Jukes, do you mind if I add to that a little bit?
Oh, no, don't add to that.
Okay, I won't add to that.
Okay, now you can add to that. Go ahead.
To add to that, Group C, they're going to be fighting Group A tomorrow. So that means they can definitely go back, do their research, and figure out what type of rotations, where Group A, where some of these squads might like to drop. And I hate to say it, but it's a fact. It's a fact. This is competitive PUBG Mobile. They can maybe go back to Group A and see who are kind of the weaker teams. I'm just putting it out there. See who the weaker teams are and maybe hunt them down. Maybe drop near them, get some early game kills. Just saying. It's been done before. So tomorrow, another jam-packed, exciting day. We'll have 4 maps to go, A versus C. But this is the final map of today, Groups C versus D. And right off the bat, I see a ton of teams kind of all huddled on top of each other.
Yeah, it looks like they're dropping on one another once again. And we can see this member from Mixed Squad. They had a great finish last one, and they're going to start this off with a kill on the side of 4 warrior men. So that's how you start things off. This is a really good way to get this game going. They need to finish strong, though. That's going to be the big thing. So we'll see how they opt to play it off. And it looks like they're looting up these reds just south of Potato Hill, sorry. And we'll see where they opt to head out from there, because there's not a lot of loot in those areas.
And we can already see the difference between Game 1 and Game 4, at least when we're looking at Mixed Squad. If you can recall, Game 1, they all dropped their own separate locations. They were all over the map. They lost 2 players in the first 2 minutes of the game. This time around, they are right on top of each other. They're able to provide that support. And talking about it, it looks like they actually... that bump. It looks like for a second they were on the hunt. I felt like they were on the hunt until that speed bump right there.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say that that's what it was, because what I don't want to see right now is I don't want to see blind rotations. That's something that you just can't really be doing if you're looking to be one of the top teams in competitive PUBG Mobile. When you move, you need to have scouted it, and you need to move little by little by little. Even though it is early game, it's too risky to just full send it to a spot. Like right now, there could be somebody that was sitting in that room waiting, and guess what? You're taken out, knocked, and thirsted, and that's just going to really hinder you for the rest of the game. So, man, got to be careful. Got to be on the lookout whenever you're rotating.
On your P's and Q's. Game number 1, Pachinki, if I'm not mistaken, had at least 2 teams dropping in it. Looking at this game, the last game of the day, it looks like No Limits will be able to have Pachinki all to themselves. A ton of compounds, a ton of buildings to loot. And I believe, I forgot what the zone looked like already. I think I bumped my head. I think Pachinki's in it. So they have plenty of time to loot up every single spot. And they're looting next to each other as well. So just in case the team decides, maybe an enemy team might decide to get a little frisky here on the final map, they're able to quickly provide that support for one another. Another thing that I know we've been stressing a lot here tonight, but Game 1, we saw a lot of teammates just all over the place, right? Like all over the place, all split up, all spread out. And now, Game 4, we tend to see a lot more teams. They learn their lesson early on, and they're adapting. Now they're playing closer together. I mean, this is what we've been talking about, and that's what we're seeing now. And I like it. I like it, Juice. I'm just saying, I like it.
Yeah, like I said, the excuse card. You know, I'll give it to you on the first 2 matches. It's just because there's so much going on in your head when you're entering a match like this, especially if this is your first ever PMCO. I mean, the pressure is insane. This is all you've been thinking about all week. Now you're entering the first game, your hands are shaking, and you're going to make some mistakes. But after you've gotten a couple games under your belt, you got to shake it off, baby. You got to shake it off, talk to each other, pump each other up, and be able to play the game that got you here in the first place. So we'll see how these teams opt to really show off their skills. I think so far, Loco Nostra Power has definitely showed that they're a team that are ready to be able to compete here at this level. Mixed Squad with that huge chicken dinner is a great sign as well. Still, we're in day number 1, but regardless, you want to finish off day number 1 strong.
Show up and po up. That's what a lot of these players are doing here in this final map. Pour one for your boy. And another difference that we're seeing in this final game, it's only about 5 to 6 minutes in. This is a huge difference from game number 1, is these teams, they drop, they get their loot, and immediately They're on the rotate. They're repositioning to find a better spot in circle number 1. This is completely different from what we saw in game number 1. Game number 1, we had a ton of teams on the outside of the blue. We had a ton of teams playing the edge. But now, this time around, teams, for me at least, are playing a lot more proactive.
Yeah, they're definitely on the move. The one thing that's scary, though, is that they are making very, very long, wide rotations. And you got to be really careful. At the same time, you look right now, like Team 16 for UN Clan. Now they're finally getting shot at. Once you start rotating for too long, you're just going to get popped. So you want to go, hit a hill, stop, get the lay of the land first, then move up. And just keep on doing that, because it's better to be safe than sorry, Dave. You know, if you just full send it and get caught out, man, dude, that is just, there's nothing worse in competitive PUBG Mobile as a competitor to die out of a vehicle. You didn't even get a chance to shoot. You didn't even get a chance to really fight. You know, you've been waiting in the lobby for all this time. You get in, and then you just die out of a vehicle. There's nothing more of a big bummer. So, I mean, go out shooting, at least on your feet, rather than out of a vehicle. That's what I always
And that's
say.
exactly why I've been sending a ton of emails to the boss to get BRDMs in competitive. Oh! Okay, teamwork right there. I've been sending emails,
nice.
man. I think it goes to the spam. I think it goes to the spam boxes. But BRDMs, at least that'll give you a chance to pop out, use that baby for cover, right? Am I right? I mean, am I right, Jukes?
I mean, you're right. You're right. But I'm sorry. I mean,
right?
that would love to. I would love to see it competitive. One thing that the reason why I laughed is as I look at the map come up, look at all these teams. I mean, there's hardly anybody in the center. Everybody is riding edge, just playing it still, like they just do not want to get taken out. And I think that these teams that are watching, they need to realize that, especially in PMCO. Because if you've been studying nothing of the top eras, you think everyone's going to be center. But guess what? PMCO, first matches, there's going to be people that want to hug edge. So you got to be really, really careful from that end. But BRDMs in comp, that's another thing. Back to that, I would love to. I'd love to witness that.
Right, though? Am I right?
I think so. I think so.
Man.
Why not? You know?
Yeah, there we go. Someone finally agrees with me on something. So 7 Esports, they were peppering, taking some shots on to La Costa Ice. I mean, La Costa Nostra Ice is not a team that we really highlighted here this evening, because we've been paying close attention to Power, who are currently in that second place position. And looking at the Ice squad, I guess you can say, they're on the second page. They're in 24th. So this is a team that is definitely looking to have that one final hurrah here tonight. Next zone does center on up, but for me, it's still 50-50. 50-50. That inlet going right down the middle. It can go south. It can go north. All I know is you got to be able to swim, because I have a prediction. I have a strong feeling that we're going to continue to see this water in play, maybe even to the final zones.
Oh, those water zones are so tough. I mean, anytime you split the map in the final circle, you just have to make a gamble of where the next zone's going to go. And if you're able to hit it, it's good. Look at this shot from Bobo with the DP. All he's got to do is aim for the tires. He's aiming for the head there. You got to aim for the tires on the DP. All you got to do is hit 2 bullets. They're going to spin out, and then you blow up their vehicle, and they're stuck out wide on the open. Nothing they can do. But you can't. Yeah, that's something that you got to think about whenever you're playing comp.
Talking about.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. Like, those tires are gone instantly at the high level. Like, when you're driving a buggy in PMGC or something like that, they see you, they're instantly aiming for tires. That's all they're going for.
Not if it's a BRDM. Am I right, though? Am I right, BRDM?
Am I right? BRDM.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll say one thing. BRDMs are super interesting to watch in late game. Watching like people go through a 1v1 when there's a BRDM like at the end, like the utility of like just kind of moving it around and using it to your advantage to press is so fun to watch. So I'll definitely like love to see that being used towards the end game. That'd be nice.
I forgot we're casting EU. I'm gonna have a lot of messages in my
But
spam
you know what?
box now about
real quick though.
BRDM.
One thing I would like to see is, have you played the new Power Armor mode in PUBG Mobile?
Have I played the new? Have you not watched any of my clips, Jukes? Have you
Bro,
not watched
I'm asking
Get
for the
across
people.
the
It was
map
come on now, bro.
with the spray
Come on,
gun,
bro.
Jukes,
Dude, bro, I have hit a jetpack flying across punch in the face to knock somebody out. I'm telling
baby.
you, I love the new Power Hour mode. It's so fun to play. If you guys are watching right now and haven't played it already, you have to. But could you imagine the jetpacks in competitive?
So Jukes is calling for jetpacks. I'm calling for BRDMs. In the chat, pick your side. All right, pick your side.
I would love just to
Which
witness.
one do you want?
I want to
Like
see
a
the
show
top
match,
players.
like a show match.
Exactly. I want to see some of the top players in the world. Just see how they decide to utilize that kit. Because anytime you watch some of the top players, they pull out some strategies and some things that you've just never seen before. Like when I was talking about Paraboy, there's a certain distance that is perfect when you're driving. And I think that is something that is only really looked at the high end. But at the low end, people just think, oh, it's all about following it. No, there's a certain distance that you have to follow for a ton of reasons, Dave.
Gamers Unite, wide rotate. Would you say Gamers Unite are following your little rule of thumb right there with their split?
Too long, too far apart. Because the thing is this: if you have your lead person, if you're too close together, if your lead person gets shot up, the rest of you guys are going to get shot up, right? If you're too far apart, your first person gets shot and you guys are too far away to help. There's that perfect distance in between where you're able to kind of be able to get that distance. Oh, a nade pull. Yeah, he took advantage of that, was able to get those shots up a little closer. There's still a nade there in that building. Oh, on the outside as well. I think Golo's going to opt to just try and get out of here with this first aid. But yeah, you got to be in that perfect spot if you want to get away with it. Done. Gold touch.
Perfect spot.
Didn't have it.
Yeah. And I think, look who it is who got it, right? Look who it is, the clutch player. Ooh, dynamic, seeing the kill feed. And I think learning, the rotations and that perfect distance, I think it comes with experience, right? I mean, this is PMCO group stage after all. This could be the first competitive lobby set some of these players, some of these teams have ever competed in. So as they continue to progress, I think we'll start to see them tighten up just a little bit. But there are a lot of resources out there for these players to kind of study, those top echelons when it comes to those top teams like who play in PMGC. I mean, heck, that's the dream right now for all these players.
Yeah, I think that you got to study those squads, but you got to also realize that this is a totally different tournament. So they're going to play differently. So you got to make sure that you're able to learn from them, but to be able to adjust on the fly for it to support this PMCO group stage. And you can see right now, Dave, next circle kind of center up here towards the end.
Everybody on the edge. And we have 15 teams. So it is going to get real sweaty real fast as we only lost one complete team. Checking on in with 7 Esports playing in the forest. They are going to be put to a halt as there's 4 members right there trying to gatekeep them. Bazooka crawling on up. I'm not sure whose smoke that was, but Bazooka going to be blocking their own sightlines with that one.
Yeah, the second you throw a smoke like that, now he can't even look in this direction. And now you're going to see Team 10 start to press up on them because they can.
Busted.
That's what you got to watch out. One bad smoke, it could really devastate your entire team. Because look, Busta's able to just peek this for free because of that one smoke. And will they opt to press this? I think Busta wants to. Yeah, he's got all the angles now to do so. Oh, what a drive.
Busta
big shots.
Going for some pre-fire shots. Looking at Wizard. Wizard using this as the tires as cover. Wizard going to be cooking this grenade. Knows exactly where Busta is. Tossing that right on top of Busta. Busta chunked down to about 50% HP. We start to see 7 Esports deploy some more smokes in the mini red zone right here. So this, to me, can go either way. Both teams are kind of deploying these smokes that you just mentioned that are kind of blocking their own sight lines. And hey, they're going to run out sooner than later.
Yeah, but the rest of his team, Busta's really pushed up, unfortunately. The rest of his squad needs to start finding some angles. They're way too far behind to help him. So he's just like pretty much stuck on his lonesome right now. And they're just laying down. Like, yeah, I don't know exactly what they're doing if they're just playing this passive. But they're basically sacrificing their teammate. There goes Busta. So now that's it. Their angles are gone. The rest of the res, they're just laying down right there. It's only a matter of time, I think, before they go out.
Bazooka with the jump shot right there. Extremely low. You looking to toss It looked like a smoke so that it can buy him some time to heal on up, but Cosmo is crawling. See that smoke? It blocked the vision. There's a molly, so Cosmo's crawled right on into that molly. UCU throwing another smoke. They're just using all their utility. Bazooka, though, meanwhile, going to be providing a support for Destroyer to get up close and personal. Wizard right on top of UCU, going for that spray down with that Uzi. Hot Jukes missing those shots, but UCU able to use those smokes and play Houdini.
Water!
Get on out of harm's way, sent it right on into the water.
Yeah, sit it in there for now. He's going to get on the back of that buggy and maybe try to hit some shots. Elo's looking right towards his direction. He's going to throw a nade right on top of him. Will he be able to hit it, though? That's going to be the big thing. Those nades, I mean, I'm telling you, those smokes, they're just not the play. They're just not the play. They just allow those other players to just roll up on you and punish you. It's so crazy, though, that he was able to get into the water from that position. I mean, that was pretty nutty. I mean, that was a last risk, last effort thing. And it turned out to work just for now, but for how long?
I saw him drowning as well, so and they must have forgot their
I mean, just overall, it was just not played very, very well, unfortunately. They got to be able to support their teammates. You can't play it passive. Yeah.
Both teams were just tossing those smokes left and right.
We'll see how they opt to play it. So going towards the end, look at how many people are just hanging in this edge of the zone. It's insane. Oh. Everyone's snaking it. Everyone's playing this passive, trying to get points. I mean, this is just chaos. I can only imagine trying to be here right now.
The next zone did go on up. All these teams on the east side, they're just scrambling out here to try to survive. Wolf going for that pre-fire spray down. Hair Queen able to get on into the stairs, trying to heal on up, but we hear the shots erupting. I can only imagine the nerves right now happening within the game if you are an actual player. Addy cooking a grenade, look for that ricochet. Hair Queen able to jump on out of that window, bolt on out in time, and Addy might go out to the blue zone, able to get that heal off right in time.
That's his last first aid, and he is going to have to start moving right afterwards. He's going to be able to catch Kraken on the end. At the end, we'll have to find out. Hate still up. They've been doing really great, I think, overall today. There's Addy going to get finished off, but now the blue zone is going to start closing here. He's got to get moving, and he is just running for his life. That first aid's going to be so risky. He has to do it right in the open. Nope. Yeah, just gets shot out by Fox. So that's another point on the side of Hate Gaming EU, as they're going to go ahead and add their total score. 11 kills? 11 kills so far. This is what we're talking about, though. I mean, we saw them as the aggressive team that we've seen. And look how well it's paying off. I'm telling you, playing passive at this high level, it's just not going to get you anywhere.
They've been on the ball all night long, currently with 19 kills coming into this game and a chicken dinner. I mean,
they're running in the open.
Playing consistent. Yeah, they are in the open. They have a rock to work with, but 11 kills, even if they get taken out right now, those 11 kills, that's equivalent to almost a second place finish. There's 3 teams to go. Everybody on the edge, and right in the middle, there might be a tree, but nothing but grass.
Oh, what a shot. This is what I was talking about, though. Look, Hate is running in the open. 7 Esports has the cover. They should be looking in this direction. They should be firing right now. But instead, they're playing it passive and hiding, and that's allowing Hate to just push up for free. And now look how close they are, and just throwing grenades. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, these guys, just devastated. This is what happens. Gotta say it.
Fox, just straight rolling up right there. Rolling up. That was good, though. I mean, I know you didn't like that they were running in the open, but when it comes to aggressive plays, that was that was beautiful.
It worked.
That was great.
Yeah, it worked. The thing is this: they shouldn't have even been able to run a little bit in the open in that position. Yeah. But the fact that they recognize that this team is playing passive, they were able to do so, get those kills, and be able to get it done. So regardless, a huge play, especially that knock coming from Fox to start things off. So Hate Gaming, they're just having their
16.
way. Yeah, they're 16 kills. They're having their way with the lobby right now.
Definitely a record here when it comes to PMCO Group Stage EU West. And
M24?
to finish off the night, a classic 2v2 snake battle.
The snakes making the return inside of Erangel. You can see Reek, he's got the bolt action out. He's going to throw that smoke midway. I like that. Throwing it a little bit more in an off angle. Don't want to throw it right on top of you. So that way you can be able to still see and catch people on the move. Oh, what a great
Bold
drop.
play.
Oh, my goodness. Full level 3. Now he's going to be throwing nade exactly at that rock. He has to, he threw it on the smoke. See what happens? If he threw the smoke at the rock, he would have known for sure. But instead, that smoke was just timed just perfectly simple. Might be able to catch this off angle. You can see him crawling.
Oh,
Careful. He sees Fox. Picks it up. Gets the first knock. So huge. Now it's just Jaja. But Jaja's got the M249. You can hear it. You can hear it coming out. It's going to be so close. Oh, that Uzi shot so strong. Really tight peaks. And a great, great finish there from both of these teams. No Limits and Hate Gaming EU. Fox with 11 kills on his own. What a game. I mean, man, this man is making plays. We're talking about players that we're going to be able to start showing up and we're going to start seeing. And guess what? Fox, I think he's added his name to that list.
11 kills from an individual player, definitely breaking records here so far. But you were talking about that big smoke, definitely 100% coming in clutch, because we saw Jaja toss that grenade. We saw Jaja even pre-fire into that smoke. So that distraction right there allowed for the timing, for that surprise from the off angle to pop up with Uzi. Knew exactly where they were. I mean, that was just clean. That was clean.
Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, from Fox hitting some crazy shots, seeing some really nice plays like that towards the end. That's what I want to see, especially from the squads that we see in the final circle. I mean, they're the ones that got there for a reason. They're the ones that are going to be making the plays. At the same time, I can't stress this enough for everybody that's watching, the importance of smoke placement. I think that is the overall lesson for today from what we've seen. One bad smoke, it could just devastate your entire squad. I think that a lot of people have gotten the habit of, once they get shot up, throw a smoke on yourself, right on top of you just to get cover. But guess what? At the high level, all they're going to do is pre-fire that smoke and push up on you. So, throwing smokes right on top of you, it's not the way. All you're doing is limiting your sight lines. You would rather throw it midway. If you throw it midway, they have to run through smoke. And if they're running through smoke, guess what? You're going to see them first come out of it. And maybe you can hit some shots on them. So that's something that you really, really got to think about when you're playing PUBG Mobile, any game mode.
Not only that, I just picture myself in the game, right? I mean, going back to the 7 esports fight, we saw both of those squads throwing smokes left and right in the forest. I'm picturing myself as a team on the outside, on the outskirts, looking at this. What is going on over there? And the circle is so small, it's so shrunken that a couple shots, third-party shots, it might actually connect, just because there's so much smoke. You have to assume there's going to be players healing up in there. There's going to be players trying to rotate, trying to pre-fire, get into their own little fights over there as well. So it's kind of like a smoke signal to the rest of the lobby. Okay, we got 2 teams over there doing Lord knows what. But let's take some shots. Maybe we'll get lucky, right? Maybe we'll get lucky. And I mean, I don't want to say it worked out for 7 esports, but they did get third place though, Hot Jukes.
Yeah, I mean, they did get third place, so that's a good position for them. I'm just saying, regardless, though, especially as we get progress through from PMCO to PMPL, the skill cap is going to get raised, and you're going to get punished for that severely from teams that are a little bit more seasoned. And that's why I'm stressing on this so much, because it's so huge. Yes, these are new teams coming in, but it's something that it's something that you can fix relatively easily. You just got to be able to do that. But guess what? After 4 games today, let's go ahead and see who's going to end up on top as we move over to the rankings, baby. This is all that matters. Top 16 is going to be the big thing. And oh boy, Hate Gaming EU are now on top, passing 4 Romanian men. And look at Nostra Power. All they had to do was get 4 points, only being able to get 2 in that last match. But still, 3rd place overall. All these teams here in the top got to be really, really hyped and pumped up.
And you know what I'm excited to see tomorrow? Hate Gaming versus 4 Romanian men. They are going to be playing tomorrow, Groups A versus Group C. They're only 5 points from each other, and those 5 points in kills. So Hate Gaming with 5 more kills. So these two teams, they'll be able to duke it out tomorrow, see who can get that first place spot. Going on down the leaderboard, mixed squad, still slowly but surely getting points here, getting points there. All things considered, their first 2 games, throwaway games, Jukes. They only got 2 points in 2 games. But the last 2 games, they're able to make up for that.
Yeah, it did. I mean, that's a good comeback. That's what I want to see, especially considering that mixed squad is going to be a team moving on into tomorrow's matches. So to be able to finish strong, they got to be feeling really good. Now, looking at the rest of the leaderboards, now it's official. All these teams have played the same amount of games. So this is a true representation of the leaderboard after day number 2. And as you can see here, we have a few, teams that are currently struggling a little bit, but one thing we're going to see come back tomorrow, Dave, is your favorite team, the Teletubbies, baby. The Teletubbies. 10 points, 3 kills. They got to come back strong tomorrow.
So the thing is, I spoke to the yellow Teletubby, and they told me they were nervous. They told me they were nervous. It was their first day ever, and that's the case for a lot of these players and a lot of these teams. They let the nerves get the better part of them, right? Their communication got a little janky here and there. They weren't so comfortable taking those team fights, right? You have to be comfortable getting into those engagements, and that's why we see it reflect on their points. They got 10 placement points, but only 4 kills. To be a team that moves forward here, you need to be good at both. You need to be able to get those placement points, survive, rotate 200 IQ plays, but you also need to be able to hit those shots. I mean, it's the best of the best. I mean, that's what we're looking for here, and that's exactly what these players, this is what they signed up for, right? They signed up to prove themselves that they have what it takes. So, Teletubbies, I'm on the train, Hot Jukes, and I'm riding that train all the way to the stop, all right? I'm just putting it out there.
Let's see. I want to see it. I mean, that's the thing. It is the truth. It's the reality of the situation. You got to get kills, and you have to be able to do it. Just going for placement isn't going to be good enough to get you some cash in return. You got to be able to frag out. And I think of the best, in my opinion, like the best representation of that, you heard it from the source. Dave, you talked to one of the Teletubbies. They mentioned the pressure. We've been talking about the pressure a lot. And sometimes I see in the chat, why do they keep mentioning it? It is an insanely huge factor. And I think the biggest proving point was in game number 1 when we saw that player get that knock, instantly turn, run to his bike as though he was going to go and full send it, because I think that's what they would normally do. Gets the knock, runs to his bike, and it just stops. Just that slight hesitation, and that is, I think, the perfect example of what we've been seeing here in the Club Open and why we're seeing some teams not really do as well as they normally play.
And, I think if teams could just realize that, like we're here, we made it here to the group stage, let's just play our own game. Forget about the rest, forget about the pressure, forget about our competition. Let's just play our own game. Let's try to be the best that we can be and see what happens, right? See what happens. Don't worry about the leaderboards, right? Honestly, I know we're talking about leaderboards because it's very important for the viewer, but if you're a player, forget about it. I think forget about it, because that might also increase the nerves and the pressure. I think just come into these matches, play your game. And that's what you've been stressing. I couldn't agree more, especially with only 8 more games per group. 8 more games. Oof. That's not a lot, Jukes. That is nothing, man. So you need to make sure you perform and be true to yourself.
100%. You got to show up big time. And that's kind of crazy just to kind of really look at. I mean, you got to do whatever it takes to get your squad ready and as prepared as possible. And there's the hard part. You could train all day long in classic training rooms, in scrims. But guess what? You cannot train, Dave. You want to know what that is?
What? That clutch factor?
You can't train clutch, baby. You can't. You can't. You can only see it. That's the problem, is like you could have a teammate that's like, oh my gosh, so insane in scrims and everything, and then just not be able to replicate that at the high level. So clutch, it is honestly a massive factor when it comes to playing at the highest level. You got to be able to have, to be able to make those plays, baby. And the only way to find out is here at the Club Open, here at this stage. So that's why I love to watch these matches. I hope everybody watching here as well has enjoyed them so far. The PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split, of course, sponsored by our wonderful sponsors, Xiaomi, innovation for everyone. Man, oh, what a day. What a day. We saw some nice plays.
What a day. Cow77, talk about that clutch factor, going for that pan play, almost getting that pan play, but still winning. Fox with 11 kills, Berlin with 6 kills. We saw so many plays come on out from these teams and from individual players. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure, subscribe, make sure, stay up to date with all the PUBG Mobile socials, and make sure to tune in to tomorrow, day number 3 of the group stages. Hot Jukes, Mustache Dave, we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place.